Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. What if one short, blurry clip could reopen all the emotions you thought you had already buried? Tonight, a CCTV video that many viewers believe shows Menglong and Yiren together shortly before his passing has returned to the center of public attention. Some say it is proof. Some say it is just coincidence. But for thousands of fans around the world, it is something else entirely. A painful reminder of a friendship, a story, and a talent gone too soon. Welcome to Update X24H. In this video, we are not here to judge or to attack anyone. Instead, we will look at this viral clip from a different angle. What it means for fans, for privacy, and for the way we remember the people we love on screen. The clip returns like a ghost that refuses to leave the room. A few blurred minutes, recorded in what appears to be a private parking area. And suddenly the internet is holding its breath again. People lean in, not because the footage is clear, but because the moment feels heavy. In the grain of the image, viewers believe they recognize two familiar silhouettes. A woman who resembles Yiren, and a man many are convinced is Menglong. There is no confirmed date, no official location, no statement that seals it as truth. Yet the absence of certainty is exactly what gives the clip its power. In the digital age, clarity is not required for impact. A shadow can be enough. A posture can be enough. A quiet exchange with no audio and no context becomes a canvas on which millions project their grief, their questions, and their longing for closure. The clip is short, but it opens a long corridor of memory. People replay it not only to see better, but to feel again. What makes this resurfacing so striking is not the video itself, but the timing. It arrives after silence has settled, after fans thought they had learned to live with the unanswered. And now a new fragment appears, suggesting there might have been another chapter we never saw. Whether the clip is genuine or not, its return reveals a truth about the audience. When a story ends too abruptly, even the faintest echo can make the world listen. To understand why the reaction is so intense, we have to look beyond the CCTV frame and into the relationship people believe they witnessed over the years. Menglong and Yiren were not merely colleagues sharing screen time. For many viewers, they represented a particular kind of partnership. Gentle, believable, and strangely reassuring. Their dramas gave audiences a language of closeness, the kind that feels lived in rather than performed. Their interviews and behind-the-scenes moments carried a natural warmth. Nothing loud, nothing theatrical. Just a quiet ease that fans read as real respect. So when a video emerges that seems to place them together in a private moment, fans don't interpret it like a headline. They interpret it like a return to a feeling. It makes people remember where they were when they first watched a scene that moved them, or how a single exchange between the two actors helped them through a difficult season of life. In that sense, this clip isn't only about two celebrities. It is about the emotional archive audiences built around them. There is also a deeper ache underneath the nostalgia. Menglong's passing left a rupture in the public imagination. His story feels unfinished, not because fans are entitled to every detail, but because grief often searches for narrative sense. A possible last meeting becomes symbolic. It suggests tenderness in the final stretch of time, a human connection in the shadows, and maybe a truth we were never allowed to hear. The clip matters because the bond mattered. People are reacting to that bond, and to the loss that still stings. Yet the same emotions that draw people in can also lead them somewhere dangerous. A blurred clip invites interpretation, and interpretation can quickly harden into accusation. We have seen this pattern before. A question becomes a theory becomes a verdict, and soon real people are being judged in public without evidence they can respond to. The truth is simple and uncomfortable. We do not know exactly what this footage shows. We do not know when it was recorded. We do not know what was said between the two figures. And silence from an agency does not automatically mean guilt, nor does it obligate anyone to explain their grief to strangers. When audiences care deeply, it is easy to confuse caring with control. Some viewers feel that love gives them the right to demand clarity, to pull private moments into the open, to insist on a conclusion that calms their minds. But grief is not a court case. It is not a puzzle that always yields to crowdsourcing. If this footage truly involves Menglong's final days, then it sits at the edge of something sacred. Turning it into a weapon risks flattening the human reality behind the pixels. There is also the cost to the living. If the woman in the clip is Song Yiren, then she is a person still walking through the world, still carrying her own memories, potentially under a spotlight she did not choose. If it is not her, then the speculation becomes even more cruel, because it attaches a name to a shadow. Either way, the internet's instinct to solve can inflict new harm. This is the moment where viewers must decide what kind of audience they want to be. We can hold grief and curiosity without becoming a mob. We can ask for truth without forcing a spectacle. The line is thin, but it is ours to respect. What if we watch this clip not as a hunt for hidden wrongdoing, but as an invitation to practice empathy? That shift changes everything. Instead of zooming in to extract a satisfying theory, we zoom out to see the emotional landscape that produced this moment, and the people inside it. A private conversation, if it happened, is not automatically a clue. It may simply be two human beings sharing something quiet in a world that rarely allows them quiet. This is where a more thoughtful kind of viewing begins. We can acknowledge what fans feel, the rush of nostalgia, the ache of loss, the desire to understand, without letting those feelings turn into pressure on anyone involved. Sometimes emotional truth matters even when factual truth is uncertain. The emotional truth here is that audiences still miss Menglong. They still want to protect his dignity. They still want to believe that in his final stretch of life, there was kindness near him. That longing is not wrong. It is human. The responsibility lies in how we express it. One healing response fans have tried is to turn the energy of speculation into acts of remembrance. Writing private letters of thanks. Rewatching his work not to decode it, but to honor it. Donating to causes that support artists' mental well-being. These actions give grief somewhere constructive to go. They say, we still care. Without demanding that anyone relive pain for our comfort. This clip can be a mirror. It can show us the tenderness we are capable of, but also the impatience we sometimes mistake for loyalty. The healthiest way forward is to hold both truths at once. We can be moved by what we see, and still be gentle about what we do not know. The internet gives us extraordinary closeness to people we will never meet. A single CCTV upload can cross continents in minutes, settling into phones and hearts in Hanoi, Seoul, London, Manila, Toronto. That speed feels thrilling, but it is also heavy with consequence. In a world where fragments travel faster than context, the smallest clip can become an entire narrative. The problem is not that people share. The problem is that the act of sharing often outruns the act of thinking. A blurred image becomes evidence, because someone captions it so. A pause between two figures becomes meaningful, because a thread says it is. And each repost adds a new layer of certainty, even when the foundation is still soft. This is not a moral failure of individuals. It is a structural feature of platforms built for attention. Outrage and mystery keep people scrolling. Nuance rarely does. But we are not powerless. The audience does not only consume stories, it shapes them. We decide whether a rumor becomes a wildfire or a footnote. This is why digital responsibility matters. If we care about Menglong's memory, then our care should show up as restraint when restraint is needed. We can avoid sensational language. We can stop short of naming motives we cannot prove. We can refuse to harass anyone linked to the clip. A useful personal rule is this. Before commenting, ask whether your words protect dignity or strip it away. If you would not say it to a grieving friend, do not say it to a stranger online. In grief-charged stories, kindness is not weakness. It is discipline. And discipline is how we honor people who can no longer defend themselves. After all the replays, debates, and theories, what remains is a quieter truth. This viral clip does not give us a full answer. It does not confirm a timeline. It does not explain a loss that still hurts. What it truly reveals is the shape of collective grief. The way people reach for meaning when someone they admire disappears too soon. Menglong's passing left a silence that fame could not fill. For some fans, the silence feels unfinished. For others, it feels private and sacred. The CCTV clip sits right between those two instincts. It invites us to look, but it also warns us not to demand too much from what we see. Mourning is not only about knowing, it is also about learning to carry not knowing with dignity. If the figures are indeed Menglong and Song Yiren, then the moment is a reminder that even public lives have private corners, and that final days may contain ordinary conversations we will never understand. If the clip is misidentified or misplaced, then it is still a reminder of something important. Our need for closure can sometimes outweigh our respect for reality. Both possibilities ask the same question of us. How do we honor a person's story without turning it into a spectacle? Perhaps the best response is not to force an ending, but to protect the memory we already have. To speak of Menglong's work with gratitude. To wish peace upon anyone touched by his life. To support an entertainment culture that is safer, kinder, and more humane. In that way, the clip becomes less a trigger for drama and more a prompt for maturity. Not a final chapter, but a gentle call to remember responsibly.